Wolf 359 was an inside job. Packlids have weapons from over 30 different species. And you know, Archer and those guys had a long road getting from there to here.
Oh, gosh. You just want to sing so badly.
Always.
But it's a good song. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 7th Rule with Cirroc Lofton.
Hello, hello.
We're joined by a very, very special guest, associate producer and doctor, Marie Segal.
Also, what time is it?
My name is Ryan T. Husk.
Sorry.
Today we are doing a review of Lower Decks, Season 1, Episode 10, which was called No Small Parts. That's what it was. Sorry, Anne-Marie. It's like 3 o'clock our time here in LA. What time is it in New York?
In New York?
I think 6 o'clock.
That's Red Hour, and that's how Red Hour starts.
Oh, gosh. I want my red hour back.
Hey. Hey, that's an A+.
Yeah.
There we go.
Wow.
Thank you,
Ladies and gentlemen, red hour back.
So
That's
can I just say,
that's a sports joke, Anne-Marie Segal, and it's obviously because it's a throwback from like the 70s. That's A+. Anyway.
okay, I just have to say that I tried to do a surprise for Ryan today. I emailed Cirroc and was asking him to watch the clip that I just reenacted because he has such good hat game. And while the girl is doing the ridiculous hair cascading and the scream, the guy like tosses his hat back to start the Red Hour. So I was hoping that then Ryan would be so surprised he would do the William Shatner like WTF face while we were getting ready for Red Hour. So
there it is.
I tried really hard, but oh well.
I just love seeing you scream and let your hair down. And I think that was classic.
Disclaimer, I had my hair done and asked her to make it so that if I put it up and let it down ridiculously, it would fall into place.
You had your hair done in what?
I asked her if when I put it back up, can you make it so that it goes back into place? It doesn't get messy.
The amount of preparation for this show is just tremendous.
I know.
So basically what Anne-Marie is trying to say is she just tripled our production value on this show. Thank you, Anne-Marie, for all that hard work.
Production, I'm not saying post.
Now, the acting was actually very accurate, too. I thought that was as bad as the real thing.
If you see that original scientist episode, it's pretty on point. It's very Tula, I guess.
Tula berry wine. Also looks like you have a Horgon statue behind you, but you said it's not a Horgon statue. Where did you get that?
It's the big one. It's from Guatemala. And it's an instrument, and if you blow into the back of it, it's like a whistle. It's really cool.
Interesting.
Seems like
you got that in Guatemala?
Mm-hmm. In Guatemala City on the street.
Seems like a big instrument just to make a little whistling sound.
You know, it's really interesting. Like, it's just like, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's just like this little hole, and then you blow it. I'm not going to do it because I don't know the last time I dusted the back of it. Well, actually, I do. I did today, but I don't know what chemicals are in this Swiffer dusting, so I don't really want to put it in my mouth.
That's a cool bracelet you got there, Anne-Marie. I have a question about that.
What is your question?
Where did you get that bracelet?
Why, thank you for asking. I got it from Walking Art Made by Melissa, MALISSA.com. And it is an amazing like leather substitute, which looks exactly like leather. And it's a cuff. And actually, I do have to say it's super innovative. It like melts to your arm perfectly, like slap bracelet style. And it actually says Deep Space Nine in binary code in the beading. And I think on our store, you can get them to say like all the bracelets to say different iterations of Star Trek.
Brilliant. Binary code. Love that. Very nerdy.
And it matches
cool.
my like little black cocktail dresses when I can go back out.
And that's Walking Art Made by Melissa. We'll include that in the description box below. We love Melissa Longo. She's part of our team. She's part of our inner circle, and we love her. Now let's get to this show, shall we? We've stalled enough because this show was so bad. Just
Red Hour only lasts so long.
Was this the best episode so far?
Oh my. Okay, I just have to say that like it was one of those like really magical Star Trek days because every series there's always one episode where you magically fall in love with it. And I have to say that it took me a little time to warm up to Lower Decks, but today was that day. And after,
on the last episode?
Of this season. But after, I went back and watched like another episode because I hadn't, spoiler alert, I hadn't watched the last 5 minutes. And like every word I was loving because now I'm totally in love with it. So unfortunately, I just found out that Mike McMahon's married, which is a super big bummer.
I'm sure he's fine with it though. I'm sure he's
I'll just
happily
crush
married.
from afar. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this was, what do you think, Cirroc? Best episode of the season? I mean, it was really good. I really liked, was it the previous one or the one before, which was the Vindicta episode? I think that was just the last
that was
one.
last week.
Yeah, what do you think, Cirroc?
I think I'm tired of saying best episode of the season because I think you keep saying that, and it's pretty evident that this is a show that's just hitting the ground running like I've been saying this whole time. It didn't take long for it to grow on me. It's like every episode there's just enough there where they're giving us the hints to the throwbacks to the shows, they're giving us the little gems, but they're also making a new show, and the new show is interesting and the storylines are interesting. So we have this ongoing arch with Mariner and her mom that's getting exposed in this episode, that they're mother and daughter and the relationship there. So I don't know if it's the best episode, but it's one of the best episodes. They're giving me a lot of entertainment in their 25 minutes worth of programming. I think it's a fantastic show.
Right, and they hit a ton.
Oh my God.
Of references
Well,
again.
it took me
I mean,
4
first of all,
hours to get through it because
first of all, let's just give a shout out to the USS Solvang, Anne-Marie Solvang. They keep naming these great cities. Okay, so obviously it's a city in California because that's what they do.
Also,
but usually it seems like they kind of go for, I don't want to say like laughing stock cities, but definitely random cities that you wouldn't expect. They're not like Los Angeles as
some
much.
of them I've heard of from Storage Wars on A&E. It's like places where they have the storage units for Barry Weiss to go look for.
Great.
Yeah.
So
I guess you're not a big Storage Wars fan.
I am actually.
Oh my God, it's amazing, right?
And I know the character you're talking about.
Yeah, he's the best.
But I would say that going back to Ryan talking about Solvang, I just talked about Solvang, let's say 2 weeks ago, to a friend of mine who was trying to drive up north, and he said, "Where should I go up north?" And I was saying, there's all kind. You can go to Pebble Beach up there. You can go. I was naming the different places up north that are a day's trip. A nice little day trip. Maybe spend the night. And Solvang came up. I said, you got to go to Solvang. It's a little Danish village up north.
That's where they store the Danes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of windmills and
bakeries.
And like waffle houses and stuff like that. So it's actually a nice little cute, quaint little town to go visit if you're ever up in Northern California.
Now a Star Trek destination.
It's very cute. I visited maybe a dozen times because it's on the way over to my parents' place. They live up in the central coast. And Solvang is a cute little place to have lunch. One thing that's weird, though, is that everything stops at 5 p.m. These Danish people are like, whatever, I'm done working. I'm going home. You're on your own. So if you're visiting, make sure you go in the daytime.
Early, all the gift shops, everything is closed. It's a quiet place at night, but it is a cute little town to walk around and have some ice cream, waffle cone ice cream, or eat breakfast. And it's a really cool place to be.
All right, so I'm going to guess that Anne-Marie's favorite part of this was the exocomp.
Dude,
because Cirroc, an exocomp
exocomp
was in a Next Generation episode. There were like 3 of these exocomps, and it was just like an entire episode of Picard saying like, "But they're sentient beings" or something.
Data
whatever it was.
said that.
Whatever. One of those guys did. And,
well, the weird thing about the episode though was that for some reason they say exocomp like every other second. So they actually say exocomp. I think Greatest Generation counted like over 40 times in the whole episode, which is insane. So I was gonna have a game how many times can we say exocomp? But he actually got a name, so we can refer to him by name.
What is exocomp again? Like, give me a little background on that.
It was, what did he call it? Peanut?
It was that floating thing, peanut hamper.
Which was like a name that Ryan would be a name that Ryan came up with.
I would not.
Yeah, right. That sounds so you. It was that little like floating cute thing that did the twirlies when he beamed out into space.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I thought it was a great twist that the exocomp didn't want to help.
It was great.
She was like, "What? Nah, that sounds terrible."
That was the punchline of the episode, Cirroc, where the exocomp proved it was sentient by like saving everybody by risking his own life. He was super cute. But no, that's incorrect. That's not my favorite part.
Well, I thought that was funny that the exocomp couldn't pick up any of the bottles.
But he was the best, I guess it was a she.
It was a she.
Yeah. She was really great at microsuturing, and I was really I wanted to hear everything about the new way she did skin grafts, because the interesting thing about skin grafts is to do them, you take like the part of the skin, like the top of the skin, you put it through like it's sort of like one of those things you make pasta where you turn it and it grates it, so it's like a net. And then you judge like the thickness. So my guess is she made it like really thin so you could use less skin and like cover more surface. So I wanted to hear everything about it. But
we should have the exocomp on this show so you can ask her.
Yeah, well, yeah, that'll be the after show, so you don't have to be there. But okay, well, first of all, can I just say in the comments, people can mention who wore this shirt best, me or Ryan?
Well, that's not fair because you altered yours.
Twinsies. Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, we have to show them off now if we're going to do that.
Oh, okay. Also, I just have to say I'm drinking water because otherwise by the end of the episode, I'll be telling you both how wonderful you look today. But
you look wonderful tonight.
Okay, so this is mine. I altered it because it was extra large. But also, I had this fun 80s ring for it. And so I feel like this would be perfect for a choo-choo dance concert. Or something like that.
Good reference.
What did you do, Ryan?
I'll tell you what I did.
You look so good, you can just take it out of the box.
Thank you. I gave a big shout out to the CBS PR department for hooking up very deserving and very awesome fans with some cool packages, including these awesome shirts. It's starting to show more and more that CBS and CBS All Access really cherishes and values their fans, and not just that they value their fans, but that they specifically want the fans to know that they value them. And little things like this or big things like this really kind of go a long way.
Huge thing.
Yeah.
I'll have it forever.
Well, not just that, but their attention to detail. Like the amount of time they put in just to the packaging itself shows they're not just saying, send them some roses, or, oh, what's his favorite glass of wine or bottle of wine? Okay, send them that. They're actually putting in a ton of effort and a ton of time and a ton of money into these grandiose shows of appreciation. And, just want to give a shout out and give compliments where compliments are deserved there. Very, very big shout out to CBS and CBS All Access there.
And all canonical with their like blue drink for Romulans. It was just I loved it. Couldn't be more excited. Thank you.
Cirroc, were you excited about the blue drinks?
I'm not a big drinker myself. I'm like a casual kind of once in a while drinker, but I was appreciative to, be on the receiving end of some merchandise from CBS, and it does mean a lot to know that, that they care about their fans and they care about what we're doing. And I think it's a great sign of appreciation, and I'd like to thank them myself. So yeah, I think it was a great idea. Good move.
Yeah. And at the mid-season Lower Decks review, they care a lot about the Siskos because they held Ben and Jake up as like the quintessential parent-child relationship in all of Star Trek. That the captain and Mariner, like that's what everybody should aspire to. So I love that they love the Siskos so much.
Yeah, and they've also been good doing, as we saw in this episode, we got a little bit of shout outs from Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis, which was another thing.
I think I have to say that, like, the Pakleds, I'm shocked that you didn't realize that was one of my favorites.
Well, I thought that might have been it too, but I'm not sure if you really like them that much or if it's just Cirroc, did you realize that was the Pakleds that we're always talking about? Every once in a while we see them in Koch's bar in the background.
With Pakleds the other day. Yeah. Of course he knows.
Yeah, I was actually happy to see the Pakleds. I was like, oh, these are the Pakleds that we keep talking about.
Or as Ryan and Picard say, Pakled.
Yeah. They're Pakleds.
No, but it was really fun because I know we're going out of order. But apparently they're such jocks now because they used to say, like, we're smart. And today it was all, we're strong. So that was a fun new transition in them.
Huh.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird that they kept saying, there's the Enterprise.
Oh, that's classic them. All ships look alike.
All ships look alike.
There's another Enterprise.
Yeah. Oh, that was the best part. That was so amazing. Well, I have to say that my total favorite part of the episode was seeing Commander Troy in the credits because, I mean, and seeing them in that, like, TNG credit light, because that was, like, one of the first things I learned how to reading, like, the Next Generation credits every night, and Deanna was always my favorite growing up. So it was so exciting to see that she got a promotion and now she's commander.
Wait a second. Well, she did already pass that test in the Next Generation.
She was, like, I think lieutenant commander or something.
No, she was promoted to commander. She was promoted to commander in Next Generation. She took the commander test. And I believe Crusher was also a commander. So there are actually 3 commanders on Next Generation there. For those of you keeping score. Right. Yeah, it might be.
I just don't remember the credits changing to say commander for... Because
they always called her counselor. She held the rank of commander, but she was the ship's counselor.
You're the pip dork, so I'll believe
you. Boimler got an extra pip. He got the black pip to denote lieutenant junior grade. But before we get to that, I did want to finish up with Riker and Troy. I kind of gave myself a spoiler. As I was watching the episode, they mentioned the Titan once, and I was like, you know what? I bet you this is the episode where we see the Titan, because at the very beginning of this season, they mentioned, the writers said that there were going to be some legacy characters. Okay? So far, we've seen one, Q. So we knew there was going to be at least one more legacy character. We also know that Jonathan Frakes is in, like, every Star Trek everything. Yeah, he's all like over the place now.
Clint Howard.
Yeah.
He's out of control.
And he's, you know, behind the camera and in front of the camera.
Right.
So
sometimes Thomas Riker, though.
Right. And so I knew that Titan was going to show up in this episode with Riker and with Troy. That was my prediction. I give myself an A+. I have no way to prove it, but I was very happy that they did it because the Titan, as Cirroc and I have discussed, they have a book series. Yeah, they have a book series, and it's nice to see. And Tuvok is part of that ship, and there's also a really cool unjoined Trill who's like a security officer. They didn't show them, so hopefully.
But what was up with the Kelpian? I really wanted to know, like, Kelpian
was
really
Saurian.
Long and it's Saru.
Was it a Kelpian? I thought it was a Saurian. That's what.
Man, I just can't take my eyes off of Deanna's hair ever. So I don't know.
In the comments, you guys tell us, was that a Saurian or a Kelpian or other? I think it was a Saurian. Cirroc?
You said you couldn't even take your eyes off her animated hair?
Yes. Even when it's animated, she just, like, blows my mind with her hair. And she's always been my hair inspiration since, like, 1987.
In the book series, is she the commander of the Titan?
She is not the first officer. She holds the rank of commander. I don't remember who it is because I read these books a long, long time ago. There is another commander, if I remember correctly, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong
I don't read.
In the comments section. Everybody can let us know in the comments section below who's the commander. I don't remember exactly, but I don't think it's Troy, but Troy holds the rank of commander, but is still like a counselor, if I remember correctly.
I'm so glad I didn't get that Titan spoiler because I was riding such a high from how hilarious it was that they showed us the animated series, Kirk and Spock.
Yes.
And how muscular and handsome Kirk looks, even animated. I wasn't, even though I had subtitles on and I watched it twice, like, for some reason, the Titan thing didn't dawn on me.
Yeah, there was a little part where he holds up the pad, Cirroc. I don't know if you caught that, but it was actually an image from the animated series.
Oh, funny.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I did catch them saying that they like revisiting TOS. And then
oh my God.
we're thinking TOS is the original series, but then he said those old scientists.
That was so amazing. And I loved I just loved the whole thing. Like, that is such an iconic episode with that like crazy Landru computer, and they had the Landru voice going. They had those like weird, creepy villagers. And I just like loved every second of it. And I really loved the guy who was like, but I just bought a scythe.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah. I like purging people during the red hour.
Oh, and actually the really fun thing about that, really quick, and then I'll start staying more on topic. PBS has like a new official podcast, and it's actually hosted by Tawny Newsome and Paul F. Tompkins, who was the therapist in the last episode. But it's really good. And the first episode, they interviewed my personal favorite fan, Ben Stiller, who has like 4,000 pieces of TOS memorabilia in his Star Trek collection at his house.
Wow.
So the interesting thing is that his production company is called Red Hour Productions because of that episode. Like, and in the interview, he's like, I chose that name because, you know, it's the Red Hour. Anything can happen. He's like, turns out as I get older, we're just a normal production company. He's just so adorable. But actually, he said that there's a new coffee table book coming out talking about like how ubiquitous Star Trek is in our culture. And some of the things, like, he's actually featured in it with his, like, one random place you find Star Trek is Ben Stiller's production company. So once that's out, that's going on my coffee table. But okay, now I'm more on topic.
So speaking of that, the Archons episode, our good friend, Mr. Don Crandall, who everybody knows, he gets a lot of NAMs, but that's because he sends me those late night messages of the things that I may or may not have missed. Now, what he says that episode is the first of many episodes where Kirk outsmarts a computer god and makes it malfunction. So apparently this happens a lot. He also said the episode was remade in the comic books for the Kelvin timeline crew. That is excellent knowledge.
Dude, why would you ever remake that masterpiece?
Now, the other thing, right. Now, the other thing was he mentioned that Sid Haig plays the lead in that episode, like the lead, you know, Archon, whatever character in that episode. And the reason that's cool is Sid Haig is one of my favorite actors in the world. He actually recently passed away. Armenian fellow, I believe, from the Central Valley, I think maybe Bakersfield, something like that. He was in House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects and a lot of really cool stuff. He plays Captain Spaulding, the evil clown that's like, like that. Those of you who've watched it, you know what I'm talking about. Best franchise ever. Shout out to Rob Zombie and The Devil's Rejects. Anyway, that's Sid Haig is in that episode.
Darn, I meant to ask you guys if you were from the Valley, because that's where they all ask like the Enterprise crew when they beam down, like, and they keep saying, we're from the Valley. And I was like, perfect, LA has a Valley.
I'm in the Valley.
I blew it. Oh my gosh.
Should I scream?
No, that's me.
Throw
that's
down
me
my
as a
hair?
villager, like, oh no. No, you were supposed to do the Kirk WTF face. Yeah,
yes, I had
like
to have the hat.
Yeah.
My hat.
Oh my gosh, the hat toss when you watch the clip I sent you was just like priceless.
There's just, you know what? There's just so much stuff in this episode. Badgie comes back. We also have the saddest moment when what's his name? Shax dies.
Oh my gosh, do not even talk to me about this moment.
Okay,
First of
we're
all,
going to put you in the waiting room.
To love him. And to love him was to know. I just really wanted a to know him was to love him like reference. That's my favorite funeral in Star Trek of all time. But I was just so heartbroken because I had just started shipping him and Dr. Katz.
Yeah, she said, quote, I'd love to snag that Bajoran beef with my coital hooks.
And I have not been like, I'm like the ultimate shipper, but I have not like found a couple to ship like that hard until she said that. And I was like, yes. So actually,
you went, yeah?
Yeah. So actually, at the panel they were talking about, at the panel at New York Comic Con today, they were talking about, like, first of all, the guy who plays Shax is so cool, and he's a big Star Trek fan. So they were talking about, like, maybe he can come back to life in some way, which I have my fingers majorly crossed. But then they were saying, what if he became the Kai? Because isn't there a Kai opening? Because Kai Wynn dies at the end of Deep Space Nine, spoiler alert. So then I was like, in the live chat, I was like, maybe someone should call Robert Hewitt Wolf, because he was just tweeting with Mike McMahon that he wants to come back and write a Bajoran episode of Lower Decks.
Oh, cool.
So that's my ultimate dream for next season.
But if he died, how can he do this?
Dude, haven't you watched like 100 of the 800 or whatever episodes of Star Trek where people come back from the dead? There's definitely a way.
Do you think the exocomp saved him?
Yes! That's the best full circle ever! Oh my god. The exocomp did a twirly, did like the little twirlies into the casket, and he saved him. Oh my god, and she saved him. Should you be a writer on the show? That's amazing.
That's a pretty good one, I have to say.
Oh,
but I was
go ahead.
Shaq's one of my favorite characters. I really like him in this.
Yeah, bummer.
I'm happy. It's kind of sad to see him go.
Oh, I really wanted to know what was wrapped up in that like present he bought for Mariner when everybody was like bringing Mariner things to suck up to her. I like kept rewinding it to see, but I couldn't tell. It was just some weird wrapped, like almost horn-shaped thing, and I was like, I don't know what's cool in Bajoran. It kind of looked like that, but I was like, shouldn't it be Bajoran themed? But maybe you're right, because she does love backless. Well, it was little, so maybe it was a necklace.
It was also pretty graphic when we had Rutherford get his head ripped out.
How Icheb was that?
Yeah, Icheb.
That was out of control.
Yeah.
Especially after we found out of all the functions it did.
Yeah, that was Cirroc's favorite character, was his cyborg implant.
You know what's crazy? Because they actually did what I've been screaming that they should do, which is go back to the cyborg malfunctioning. And they did it. And I was like,
then they rip it out.
And then they rip it out. I was like, wait a minute, you guys finally got it done. And then you just kill the whole concept.
Which was your favorite setting for the cyborg implant?
Sassy.
There was no sassy.
Yeah, no.
There was a hot take.
No, it was sassy. It was sass, but I had to rewind to see it because they walk in and he says something sassy.
What's your
and
eyesight?
he goes, let me change it. And it immediately goes from like sass to something else, like super quick. I could find it. And
I screenshotted every single setting. I guess I missed that one.
It was just for a second they switched to something else.
Okay, here's the list. Klingon, passive aggressive, holiday festive. I can't remember.
Holiday festive.
What did I mean by this? Extra. Shoot, I'm gonna have to like try.
That's how you know she's a doctor, ladies and gentlemen. She can't even read her own writing.
Yes, perfect doctor joke. Yes.
No, I know. Extreme optimism.
Yeah.
Sexy, which was really fun. Bro, which I really wanted to see, and hot take.
Yeah, I like the sexy setting when he was like, "Yeah, hey there,"
he was like,
and one of his eyebrows went up, and it went into like, "Yeah, hello."
Oh my god, you should cosplay that.
Yeah, that's what I think it was right before sexy.
That was such a good eyebrow.
Yeah, I practice. I do. Hello.
Oh my gosh, are you gonna sign up for a photo op with Rutherford?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And actually, that would be a good cosplay, Rutherford with his little cyborg eye.
But like, it has to be the deep cut with the sexy setting.
With the sexy setting, right?
Okay,
yeah.
While Ryan's looking it up, I'm just gonna say I also took an opportunity to do my own case study. So I have 3 younger brothers. So first, only one got back to me about this. But I had them, he's not a Star Trek fan because he's the youngest one and he was too little for Star Trek bedtime at the time. But he's like, first of all, he's a professional Magic the Gathering player. So that just tells you that he's obvious Magic the Gathering card player. Don't laugh, there's big money in it.
It's a card game for like a fantasy card game.
He's retired, right? Yeah.
Okay.
But so he's definitely like a Rick and Morty type. He's not a major Rick and Morty fan, but he's obviously like, if this wasn't behind a paywall, like this would be the target audience. So I was just really interested to see, because they keep claiming like, yeah, non-Star Trek fans would totally be into it. It's very like Rick and Morty-ish. So I had him watch it. He watched the first few episodes, and actually he did really enjoy it. So I was super impressed because I didn't really believe that people who didn't know all the inside jokes would really appreciate it and enjoy. So I'm a little bummed it's behind a paywall because I want more Star Trek fans.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. Well, maybe they'll open it up later on.
I think actually Mike McMahon my crush just tweeted today that they're giving away like free trials now so that you can binge all the episodes at once. Also, Cirroc, where did you get your mug?
Oh, very good question. This is from the Abyssinian Kiosk. And if you'll watch in this particular episode of Lower Decks, Mariner's mom was drinking from a mug very similar to this one. Did you not see it?
Oh my gosh, how did I not notice this?
I didn't
Yeah.
Looks as chic as that particular Sisko kid mug design.
Yeah, Mariner's mom, she's literally drinking from the exact same Starfleet mug. And I thought, wow, this is a little hidden gem in this episode.
So Abyssinian Kiosk, for everybody at home, is a website done by Cirroc's sister, and she creates all kinds of awesome designs, including some really cool Star Trek-like designs and Ethiopian-type designs. Lots of really good stuff, including that mug that Cirroc just held up so perfectly.
So stylish.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So I thought it was interesting that she had that in the kind of the end of the scene, the end of the episode.
All right, more references. Did you notice that Boimler plate used a fencing sword like Sulu? He had when they knocked down all the weapons and stuff like that, and he had a little fencing sword. That was cute, but that was also a nice little nod to Sulu, who is a fencer.
Okay, did you watch the Star Trek? Okay, I'm not going to say, I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but George Takei at Star Trek Day, he and Cirroc were like the total stars at September 8th CBS panels. Like they both there was not a dry eye in the Star Trek house when both of them talked, especially like about Aaron Cirroc. But also George Takei was saying how he learned how to fence from the guy who taught his favorite Robin Hood movie when he was a kid how to fence.
Oh, cool.
So it was like super cool and full circle. I love that story. But okay, continue. Sorry.
There's just so much in this. I don't know how they crammed I'm looking through my notes. I'm like, how did they cram all this in one?
4 hours to watch.
I thought it was hilarious when the new captain of that new ship, Solvang, said, "No shoes on the bridge."
I love that peel stuff because
who peeled off the plastic from the console?
Yeah,
so
funny. I was trying to keep this new for as long as I can.
It was amazing.
I like that, and everybody had their shoes off. They were walking around the bridge with the socks. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, and they all had like those cute little gold toe socks. So apparently Starfleet issues them.
And they also mentioned other ships. They mentioned the Sacramento.
Mm-hmm. And they call it the SAC for short.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you're getting transferred to the SAC?
Yeah, and they also had when Shax put Rutherford in the emergency escape shuttle, the shuttle itself was called the Sequoia.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
I don't know if you guys caught that, but it was
called. I meant to rewind and try and read what it said.
Here's a piece of trivia for you non-Trekkie nerds.
What's the Sequoia though?
Sequoia is the only word in the English language that has all 5 vowels and only 2 consonants.
Oh my God, my brain just shut off.
It is the shortest word in the English language to have all 5 vowels in it.
Yeah, just an S and a Q. A-I-O-U. Yeah, it sure does.
A little bit of trivia about the word Sequoia.
But maybe another Native American word is counted as English and says it. And has
right. Also true.
So why is it called Sequoia? Are shuttles being named after trees now?
Well, I think there's also a town in California named Sequoia.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a town, yeah.
Yeah, because we have a lot of those big redwoods in Northern California that are beautiful.
I want to go visit one of those.
And smell so glorious.
I want to go have a vertigo moment in the redwood forest. Not sure if you guys are Hitchcock fans.
I'm a Hitchcock fan, but I'm not sure about the vertigo moment. But
they meet there in the redwood forest. It's really cool.
Oh wow! The Dominion War did not happen.
Oh my God! How I was like dying and
I've been waiting to bring that guy up
and thinking like, how much would Aaron have enjoyed this moment of all the conspiracy theories having to do with Deep Space Nine? And it's just like, if you're gonna mention Deep Space Nine very little in your series, it's just so fitting to talk about it in terms of like weird conspiracy theories. It's just like such a hilarious like. Super niche kind of
First
thing.
she goes, aren't you the guy that thinks Wolf 359 was an inside job? And then as he's being pulled away, changelings aren't real. The Dominion Wars didn't happen.
Also, like Mariners on the same online dating sites as I am.
Oh, wow.
Because that was like some interesting dates I've had.
All right.
I feel like there's a lot of Star Trek jokes in there, you know, like some kind of weird Star Trek themes for dating sites, like changelings and Romulans.com or whatever.
There is a Star Trek dating site.
Oh, there is one.
I have to say I'm not on it, but there is one does exist.
Cirroc, if you went on that, can you imagine?
This is where Trek people meet.
Oh my! Well, first of all, he would the site would blow up and he would be on every billboard.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, but what's the name of that site? I gotta check it out.
Just for market research.
Yeah. Just for research.
What's it called, Anne-Marie?
I don't remember, but I remember seeing it somewhere. Like my sponsored ads are so out of control. I remember it I'm like, how does the internet know me so well? I just remember seeing a sponsored ad at some point, but my sponsored ads have been overtaken by ads for being the new aunt because I'm about to have a nephew. So now all my sponsored ads are about like trying to get me to buy onesies that say like one of them recently was like, I have a hot aunt.
That's the one you got to get. That's the one you got to get.
I know.
So I want to say that everybody that's listening in here, in the comments below, give us your Star Trek themed dating sites. Make something up. Like instead of Tinder, call it Tendier.
Oh, that's
and it could be like green themed.
Wow.
You know, or what else do we have?
I feel like if you do something Orion themed, you might end up with some like very interesting matches.
If you're into that, into that kind of stuff.
If you're into the green girls, like
little BD, SM.
I'm sure there's like an acronym for something involving Orion stuff.
Yeah,
I like the line. There was a line in this where Mariner's mom is like overwhelmed by what was happening, and she looks over to Mariner and she's like, I need some kind of dangerous half-baked solution right now. And and I like that. I like the way she did that. I thought it was kind of just to hear the word half-baked in a Star Trek episode.
Exactly that and
shout out to the movie Half Baked starring Dave Chappelle, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
great movie.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen that in forever.
One line I don't know why, but my favorite Mariner line was when they're talking about being his mentor, being Boilerplate's mentor, and he says, wait, you want to be my friend? I thought you wanted to be my mentor. And she's like, the target kind of moves. I don't know why I thought that. I was like, that's a great way to look at it. She's like, whatever, now I want to be this time I want to be that, whatever.
Oh, I forgot about when she was talking about like her great mentoring when they're handing out like the supplies to the kids. And I just loved all of her examples of how she's a great mentor. They're all so horrible. It's just amazing. And also like, can you imagine if somebody who's like your same level is like, oh, I'll be your mentor.
One question about that. She said to Boilerplate, she said, you're technically my superior. And I don't know how that works. Mm-hmm. They're both, they're both ensigns.
Maybe he's an ensign first class.
I mean, as far as I know, maybe they're in this, he's in like the command department, right? But isn't she also in the command department? I feel like but there's got to be a reason for it.
Cadet, it means you're still
cadet's below ensign. And they have 4 levels of cadet, 1, 2, 3, 4 cadet pips. And then they go.
Acting ensign means that you haven't gone to Starfleet yet, but you're really good at being
or you're just not.
Oh my God, this is just so hard.
But anyway, they're both ensigns. They're both single pip ensigns. So I was trying to figure out what makes Boimler, specifically her superior commanding officer?
I don't know, but that reminded me that Wesley Crusher got a non-appearance mention in this episode, and it just made me so happy because Will Wheaton is like killing the Ready Room, and like he's doing so well in the interviews. And I really loved on Star Trek Day when he said that like Wesley Crusher, maybe one of the problems with the character is that he didn't have his own nog like Jake Sisko did, and I just thought that was like such a really beautiful beautiful thing to say, because Jake and Nog were just so freaking cute together. And I loved like the insight to see that the two of them together were just like so much better than unfortunately Wesley Crusher was at the time. But we love Will Wheaton.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And speaking of non-appearance mentions, this is it. This is the final episode of the season. So let's get the final count on who got the most non-appearance mentions.
Shut up, you have not been keeping track in Lower Decks.
Of course I have.
Well, first of all, I know that Don Crandall won. So, okay, you can tell us the others.
In Lower Decks, not in the reviews of Lower Decks.
Okay.
First of all, in this episode, we had Gamester of Trexkellion, which is a fun little nod there. That's original series too. Cirroc. Again with Kirk, again with Spock. I think the first one for Scotty. Wesley Crusher got his first one. The first, like the 1,000th one for Enterprise. So it's weird though.
Oh my God, when they said those knuckleheads, when what's the name of the commander who's married
Ransom.
Rebecca Romaine, who I'm super excited to see more. Yeah,
Ransom.
He was like, those knuckleheads are back to worshiping computers. I just like love that he said knucklehead. Like, what a dork. Loved it.
I liked it when he said, I need to work out and think. And they're like, you are working out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
That was such a Ryan thing to say.
No. So here's the final score. We got a lot of people that got one, you know, like Wesley, Khan, Tasha, Janeway.
Oh my God, I forgot about the Armis got one. Did you put Armis on the board?
Armis did get one.
Armis is the black tar monster who eats Tasha Yar in like episode 10 or something.
Although they did reference him without saying the name in a previous episode. They said, watch out, there's a plastic bag behind you or something, whatever he said.
Yeah, so he gets a 1.5.
So the ones that had 2 were Q, Captain Picard. Those were the ones that had 2. Spock had 3. Kirk had 4, although I feel like he had a non-appearance mention in like every single episode. Felt like
I just have to say, we give him some extra points because the live chat called #ChatPack started saying that they're kirking it up, and that's what happens during the live chat. So he's been referenced in the live chats multiple times, so he gets some bonus points. Because the live chat pack is kirking it up all the time.
Right, so still 4.
Yeah, but 4 mentions out of 10 episodes. That's pretty.
It is, amazing. But number one, above all of them is not an actual person, but a ship. The Enterprise gets mentioned 6 times. Well, more than 6 times, but in 6 episodes. 6
cool stuff happens there every week.
That's right. It's like they run into a different alien every week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the final tally for this.
How much did Picard get? Did you say?
2, which is weird. It felt like he got
awkward.
2. One time they said Picard, and one time they said Captain Picard.
I thought O'Brien got a couple.
He did. I didn't mention the other ones that got 1 were Scotty, Trip Tucker, Data, Riker.
Trip Tucker. I hate that
Khan,
guy.
I think, got 2. Wales, we put that one in. Sulu got 1. Worf got 1. Gary Mitchell, Deanna Troi, Janeway, Chief O'Brien, Tasha, and Wesley.
Janeway! What a day today was. I'm just like still on cloud 9 that we're getting more Janeway. But okay, sorry. Continue.
That's it. That's the final tally for the NAMs, the non-appearance mentions, and we count those up in our show, The 7th Rule. So everybody, if you haven't watched The 7th Rule before this, check out the rest of our episodes, and please remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. Visit us on patreon.com/The7th Rule. Visit us. Anyway, let's finish this up. We still have a few minutes
check out
left.
Virtual TrekCon next week from the 15th to the 19th.
Oh, that's a pretty big deal too.
Mm-hmm.
Are you excited?
I could not be more excited if you paid me. I am so excited. I'm like jumping up and down. I was like blabbing about it all over the live chat during the New York Comic-Con live chat today. And I have like a countdown on my phone set. So pretty excited.
And Shaq's called Rutherford Baby Bear.
Oh my God.
He's like, hang in there, baby bear.
Yeah, so where did that come from? How do Victorians know what bears are?
Well, because I think in one of the episodes, like the second or third episode, Rutherford was looking about changing his department, and they were saying, no, this is like the bear club, or we're the bears and you're the baby bear.
That's
or
right.
something like that.
Oh, wow. I'm in love with it. I can't wait to rewatch the whole thing, like, after this is over.
It was sad watching Shaq's. I actually felt emotional about it. And I'm like, this guy's an animated character. Why am I so sad about it?
I know.
And he went down in a blaze of glory. He's like, this is the best day of my life.
I know. Yeah. And it was the best day of mine, too. And then it, like, broke my heart watching Dr. Katz, like, cry so much about it.
Are you crying right now a little bit? Looks like
a little. I mean, like, I was so moved that it took, as I said, it took me 4 hours to get through this, to the point where I was like, I had to stop taking notes because it was taking forever. And then I was like, the boys are pretty good at taking notes. I'll just cheat off theirs.
We can't leave this whole session without saying the funniest joke in this episode.
Oh yeah, the joke that I warned my mom about.
Yes. You have to talk about it. I'm only hard when you make me. I'm only hard on you when you make me hard.
He kept saying hard on.
Oh my God. My jaw like dropped. I was like, am I hearing Star Trek right? Like, first of all.
Am I hearing Star Trek right?
And then it kept going and I was like, doth my ears deceive me? Or whatever that Shakespeare line is. Or I was just like, I'm in shock.
That's it.
He said, the quote is, I'm only hard when you get me hard.
I couldn't even believe it. At first I was like, maybe it's just one of those like lines that's like disguised that sometimes Ryan does, where it's like, if you're listening for it, maybe you'll be like, did they mean this or not? But then it just kept going. Yeah,
it kept going, and it was.
Then it was like, this isn't.
They confirmed it
until it was awkward. Until it was awkward for even him to say.
He confirmed it. Yeah. Another quick little nod, which was really fun, was when
do all aliens get hard in the same places? That's like a Star Trek 6 reference.
Well, we know that Deep Space Nine tells us that Odo bubbles. Well, we don't know. Deep Space Nine doesn't tell us that, but that's our theory. Odo bubbles when he gets excited.
That's a question for Major Kira.
But here was something. It was a fun little reference. They said Captain Freeman Day is going to be super awkward. Which was a reference to Captain Picard Day. So maybe they just have a Captain Whatever Day on every single ship.
Oh my gosh. I just like want to see all the artwork for Captain Freeman Day. I want a mug of it. Captain Picard Day says, I want Riker to come back and do like a little like high with the Captain Freeman doll. I want it all.
All right, Anne-Marie, since you're so smart, what was the Pac-Led captain's name?
Oh my God. They have names. You can tell Pac-Leds apart. I don't know. I couldn't even hear anything besides like how hilarious like everything they were saying was, and wanting them to say we're smart so badly, and wishing Jordy was there.
See, I watched with the captioning at the bottom just to make sure I catch the names, and this one it told us the name. I don't think they actually said the name, but it showed it at one point. His name was Jackabog.
Shut up! That's not what Pac-Leds are named.
It said Jackabog.
Did it say captain?
No, just Jackabog.
That is so Pac-Led. I mean, like, I know about the Pac-Leds Jake knows because he's been seen to hang out with Pac-Leds.
That's like Jake and Nog.
Well, you know what? The Pac-Leds are Jackabog traits.
Oh my gosh. That's a big applause from Ryan.
There it is. That's all I got for you.
I'm so proud. Like, I'm just sitting here, like, my heart's swelling right now.
Every time Cirroc does a pun, I'm like, Ryan is so proud right now. And also when quarantine's over and Cirroc hangs out with his like friends again, they're gonna be like, where are all these puns coming from?
Yes. Yeah, they're all gonna be like, man, we left you alone for 1 year. What the heck happened?
Yeah, what happened to you? What do you mean I only make you I make you hard? Yeah. No, definitely, Ryan. Your random comedy is definitely starting to rub off on me.
Comedy.
It's getting so bad that I might have to see a therapist, because you even mentioned earlier about, the end of this episode, how Boimler gets another pip on his shoulder. And all I could think of was Pippin ain't easy.
Nice. Very good.
Okay, that's a good
Very
one.
good.
That's all I could think of.
That's okay. That's okay.
Actually,
I would have gone with a Lord of the Rings joke myself.
Okay. The guy who plays Boimler.
Because there's a Pippin.
Said that he ran. Oh my gosh.
Peregrine Took.
Who plays Boimler again? I don't remember. The guy who
Jack Quaid.
So he ran into Jonathan Frakes somewhere, like after he had been cast.
Jack of all Quaids, come on.
Oh my gosh. Jonathan Frakes was like, "Hey, you're gonna come serve on my ship," because he had heard like what the end of the season was gonna be, that like Boimler goes to the Titan, but like Boimler didn't know that already, and he was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then Mike McMahon called Jonathan Frakes a spoiler machine, which I thought was so adorable.
Before we go, do you guys have any predictions for next season? Now, I predict that the Titan, docked in Tennessee, will, okay, maybe not that. That's a sports joke. But I think that Boimler will not stay on the Titan forever. I think he'll be there for 1 or 2 or maybe 3 episodes, and he'll get demoted back down, or something's going to happen.
Demoted. Just say laterally transferred.
Well, he's going to, no, I'm saying lose his pip.
Middle management transfer.
Because I don't think he's going to just stay as lieutenant junior grade for this series. I think something's going to happen where he's going to go back to.
Oh, that's right. It's called Lower Decks, so he has to get back on Lower Decks. I forgot about that part of that show.
But maybe he will. Maybe he'll stay like that. But I think after like a couple episodes, he'll be back, and everything will be back to normal. But really, anything goes. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Okay, shoot, we forgot to mention.
Are we going to replace
Jonathan Frakes' sign out, where he was like 5, 6, 7, 8, and then he took off. Okay, we can.
Are we going to see a replacement for Shax? We're going to have a new security officer.
No, Shax is coming back.
Return of the Shax.
Yes.
Return of the Shax.
Yes. Best one-hit wonder ever. No, the Exocomp saves Shax, and he'll be back. Or Shax will end up on a Genesis planet and come back.
Nerd.
Yeah, is Rutherford gonna remain a cyborg? Is he gonna just be back human again, or is he gonna get a new upgraded Inspector Gadget version of what he had that has all these extra Swiss Army knife of things? So that's another thing. But I do think that Boimler is not gonna last on the Titan. I think they've got a good thing on the Cerritos, and there's gonna be a reason why he has to go back to the Cerritos.
Somebody get Rutherford a cortical node, have the EMH come put it back in his eye, and then he can be regenerated like with the nanoprobes. Voyager.
Or Cirroc, you just spoke a totally different language to Cirroc right now. She's speaking Voyager language.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. As soon as you say nanoprobes, that's when I tune out.
I love nanoprobes and I love nanoparticles, especially because research in medicine is starting to talk about. I did some studies in nanoparticles, and so I'm like, yes, Voyager's coming true. But what was my prediction? Oh, first of all, that Cirroc is going to be called by CBS because now Picard and Janeway are back, and I believe that Jake Sisko is the person who hasn't gotten to walk with the wormhole aliens. Mm-hmm. And Deep Space Nine needs some more representation.
Yes, it does.
So and Cassidy Yates is busy on the Orville. So I'm really hoping that Jake gets called to do some more on one of the upcoming Star Trek shows.
Yeah, he might get the call for the Nickelodeon show. Possibly Prodigy.
Or Lower Decks second season.
Or Picard, but probably not Discovery.
Or Picard, which I think they're just starting. I just heard they're just starting like the season 2 writing process, but they're starting to film in January, so there's still time to get a call.
That's the thing about, I think Melissa kind of touched on this when we were talking with her, and that was that DS9 still needs a little bit more representation in these new iterations of Star Trek.
Totally.
We're getting the original series shout-outs. We get a lot of shout-outs for the next generation. But all these storylines are also going to revolve around what DS9 and like they said, Wolf 359 and the Dominion War. So those things are going to become relevant at some point or another in one of these iterations of the show.
And there's no way that Jake Sisko is just some nobody when your dad went to go walk with the prophets. And, especially as of today, where obviously Voyager, 7 of 9 clearly was amazing on Picard, but with Janeway back in play, I think I don't want to say looks bad because I love everything CBS does, and also they're my neighbors 2 blocks away, so I don't want to piss off the neighborhood. But
bring them a nice fruit basket from us, please.
I will. I do think that it, it's such a great family. It makes sense. You're such an amazing role model. You and your dad were such amazing role models that and also so much happens in Deep Space Nine, and so much happened to build the universe. Whereas Voyager's amazing, but to be fair, they were in another quadrant, and so the only relevant species that got really developed was the Borg. So yeah, we definitely need more Deep Space Nine. But my prediction, which is a little bit of a cheat, is that I've already heard some rumblings. This is the thing. So there's a cetacean ops on TNG, which means that's where they store the whales to do echo. I guess dolphins do echolocation, but they do something similar. And so
they're gonna have a Zindi whale in there?
No, but shut up, you love Zindi. No. Although interesting question for Mohamed Noor. Do whales and Zindi, are they convergent evolution, which means they're totally separate, but they just happen to randomly evolve to be the same thing? Because why else would they both be aquatic? But anyway, the original Enterprise in Next Generation was supposed to have a cetacean ops where the whales are stored, and it's just an aquarium filled with water, I guess, and the whales are actually officers of Starfleet. And
wow.
There's talk of them actually finally visiting cetacean ops in season 2. So my prediction is they do actually go there. We'll see.
Great. Stay tuned for that.
You have to do it in animation form, probably.
One final thought is that I thought it was really cute when Tendi Roney was reading to Rutherford in bed and being his little healer and stuff. I started
shipping them too.
And then when he forgot all about her, she's like, we get to become best friends all over again. So that was great.
No, I'm so excited.
Yeah. All right. So good wrap up. Great time. Great episode. Great season. Great show. Cirroc, any final thoughts on Lower Decks Season 1?
My hat's off to the guys at Lower Decks. We talked with Mike McMahon about it, but I just think that they have banked the first, the best first season of any of the iterations of Star Trek. And I just think they hit the ground running with this one. They found the niche right away. It didn't take long for the characters to grow on me and for me to be attached to them. And I think there's sky's the limit for this particular franchise.
And remember that their episodes are half as long as the other episodes. So it was the amount of running time of just 5 episodes of regular Star Trek. And they've given us this much in 5 episodes worth.
I can't even imagine. It's like...
And the dialogue, they squeeze all that stuff in. So the other episodes that are hour long, there's a lot of slow panning and, and really conversations that last a long time, 5-10 minute conversations. So those things are stretched out. These guys are actually putting more material into a shorter amount of time. So it's a pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, so
love it. Very happy with it. Big kudos to them. Love the music. Love the theme song. Love that they played the TNG theme song when the Titan, the other Enterprise, was coming to save the day.
That's why the Packlights thought it was the Enterprise.
Because they heard the music.
That would have been a good reference to make.
They go, it's the Next Generation music. It must be the Enterprise.
That would have been a great little reference.
But I love the music. Love the theme song. It's all great. Very good.
What a season finale.
We do have to run. We could talk about this a lot longer, but we shan't.
And I will with everybody else at 9 o'clock at the live chat.
6 p.m. Pacific.
After Red Hour.
Did you say 6 p.m.?
I can't wait for you to watch the clip. It is so funny. Funny / iconic. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, A+, great job on that season, guys. Everybody deserves
thank you for the t-shirts.
kudos. And
thank you for joining us, Anne-Marie.
Oh my gosh, this is like the best day of my life. Talking to Dave Sisko about Pac-Man.
Anne-Marie, let him give you a compliment.
I just am so excited. Thank you.
No, we love you, and you got so much knowledge and so much good energy, and you spread it like wildfire. So keep it up. No, I mean, we just love you.
Stop. But go on. But okay,
which one? Stop or go on?
Because we do post-production.
Yeah. That's twice you've said post-production. It's very confusing.
I mean, you have to work on your editing for the 9 o'clock live chat.
Oh, right. We don't put in that much post. Not very many special effects.
But you do an amazing job. They always look and sound wonderful.
Oh,
yes,
thanks.
you do.
Not that there's that much work to be done.
Nah, I'm no Rutherford.
It's just natural. You guys are on sexy mode.
When is the next episode of this show coming back scheduled for a return?
Oh,
we don't know.
They said today that they were done writing all of season 2, I want to say. Although, like, I could be wrong. My mind is like a blur because, you know what? That could have been Picard. I don't even know. I can't even think after Kate Mulgrew came out and said she was becoming a captain again. So, because I think I heard Marina Kravchuk, like, yelling from New Jersey. And then I had to, like, make sure she was still breathing because she's, like, the world's biggest Kate Mulgrew fan. And we love her so much. So, anyway, it's been a crazy day.
Shout out to Marina.
And Kat R. King, she's also a big Kate Mulgrew fan.
Shout out
Bree,
to our
one of my
Trek
favorite
Tech,
Yeah, I love everybody.
Oh, great. Perfect.
Yes.
I love everybody. All right, we got them all covered then.
So let's just shout out the world.
That'll check it off.
Shout out the galaxy.
Great. We do have to go, though. Thank you so much, Anne-Marie Segal, Dr. Anne-Marie Segal, for joining us and for making our job easy. We were pretty much just sitting back and relaxing most of the time.
Sorry.
You do all the work. No, that was great. Cirroc and I welcome that, believe me.
I have to say, I don't know how you guys do this every week. It is so hard. Like, the stress of having to watch.
It's only hard when you get us hard.
Go on.
Anyway,
we'll save that for the dating sites.
Yeah, it is so much work to, like, have to watch things and take notes. So you guys are amazing for doing this every week. Thank you.
Star Trek makes it easy for us. It's a good show. If it was a bad show, it would be work. If it's a good show, it's a passion.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you all very much. And everybody at home, please remember to go down to the comment section below this video. Throw in some comments. We've given you tons of stuff to talk about. So has Lower Deck. Sorry, I thought I saw you pause when I said talk about. So give us some comments, give us some love, and tell CBS how much you love the show, and tell them you appreciate them as much as they appreciate you.
Yeah.
And everybody at home, always remember the 7th rule. And watch Virtual TrekCon in a week, by the way.
Yeah.
virtualtrekcon.com.